Would you rather trip once a day in a very noticeable way or always feel like you forgot something important but never know what it is? Welcome to Second Saturday, the podcast where every Sunday feels like a Saturday.
This is episode 76, and I'm Ainsley.
This is Jan.
And we are going back to the lodge again. We're always at the lodge. We really are.
Who's being at the lodge?
It's so much fun being at the lodge.
Okay, so today we're going to be doing a Lodge Life deep dive with more boat escapades because there's more than just freighting to and from the lodge when it comes to boating
Yes.
and the lodge life. So, some fun times
And there's
other
more
than
than
just,
just fishing.
there's more than
There's
just fishing
the
too.
the in
Yeah.
between, the gray area, the blurry lines.
You need to add to
Blurry
our list of
lines.
lodge lives for the boat rides that we need to talk about fishing because I got a
Yes.
couple really good fishing stories that we could tell and we can talk about fishing and how that went. So Ainsley pitter patter,
I'm doing
get on
it.
the
I
fishing.
got my sticky note out.
And can I also state like just how twinning we are today?
Twinning is winning.
Twinning is
Listen,
winning. This
if
is
we
unbelievable.
anytime we have a chance to twin, we twin.
We are
Like,
twins.
we will
If we can
choose to
twin,
twin.
always choose to twin.
Yeah, we always
Always.
choose to twin. It's great. It's phenomenal. Who doesn't want a
Mhm.
match?
I want to match you.
I want to match you.
There you go.
Boom. Boom
Enough said.
shakalaka.
I love that. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the fun times that we had in boats and different types of boats because we didn't just freight to the lodge, and we also fished, but we also had some other boats that did some fun stuff in.
Yes.
So let's just deep dive right into it, Ainsley. Do you remember? Now we used to do this in the evenings. So when we were at the lodge, like there wasn't, we had to make our own fun. We had to make our own entertainment because we were for a few years on an island. And
Yep.
then after that, like we're still in the middle of nowhere, 42
After
miles from
after
town.
we moved off of the island, all we did was move to mainland because essentially that land is connected to town, but
Yeah.
you're not like literally there was the island and we just puttered our little boat around behind that island to mainland. So like we didn't
Yeah.
gain anything.
We literally only moved a couple, maybe a kilometer or two away from the
We
original
gained,
lodge when we went to
all we
mainland.
gained out of that situation was bears.
Because we weren't on an
Because
island anymore.
there was more bears on mainland than there was on the island. So,
Yes.
anyways, yes.
So when we were at the second lodge, when we stayed at the second, when we kind of relocated to the second lodge, we still had to make our own entertainment regardless. But one of the things we used to do in the evenings to entertain ourselves, this was usually when we didn't have guests because we always wanted to be in camp
Yeah.
when guests were around in case they needed anything that we could help them with. So this was generally if we had like a couple of like down days in between guests coming and going, or even like a down week, or if we had family up, we did this a lot too.
Yes.
And what would we do, Ainsley?
We would hop in the boat and just go like trolling around, cruising, not by any fast speeds by any mean, and just listen to music, play some trivia. Trivia was more so when we had family up.
Yes,
Otherwise, like if we didn't have family up, we'd usually just go putter around and just go for a little adventure because what else were we supposed to do?
yeah. Like I mean, it was nice and cool in the boat. Like if it was a hot
Yep.
summer day, then you were out in the boat. Literally didn't not anything faster than a trolling speed. And when we did have family, we I went out and we bought as much Trivial Pursuit old games as we could. So we
Yep.
took those cards, not the game, but we would just take the cards and we would just sit and putter along and just check the shoreline and things like that. And we would read out trivia questions that we all had to answer. Um, it was super fun.
It
Super
was
fun.
a lot of fun. And like it was always like a lot of fun for myself and my brother too because we had like we mentioned we had different types of boats. So we had our freighting boats, we had a pontoon boat, and we
Mhm.
had the fishing boats. And so it was always like especially before we got the pontoon boat because then that was kind of like the cruising boat, but we would use the
It was.
freighting boats and that was always like for my brother and I were always like, yeah, like we get to go in the big boat cuz like it was an inconvenience to use the big boats around the lake if you weren't freighting. Um,
Right?
but they had like the comfiest chairs and stuff like that. So it was always like you just felt like, oh my god, like we get to ride in the big boat. Like this is so much fun. Like ooh, and we'd like just be walking all over the boat. We'd be up at the front, up at the back, like because we weren't going fast enough to do
No,
anything.
no.
But that
So we
was always
didn't.
like the cool
Yeah,
part for my brother and I was that we got to actually go do something in the big boat because we never fished out of it because it was just such an inconvenience, like I mentioned.
yeah. Well, and we had other boats to do that too.
Yeah,
And we were just putting around, so it's not that everybody had to have like their life jackets on because we could
yeah,
injure ourselves. And listen, if you and not that you're going to fall out of the boat anyways. A lot of times in the front of the freight boat, it was just an open deck, and
yeah,
so we would get like blankets
yeah.
and sleeping bags for you guys. Hey,
So we could lay it,
pillows.
yeah. So we could lay up there because we, in all, like my brother and I had any idea what any of the answers were to Trivial Pursuit. Like maybe the odd thing, but they were all so old and stuff like that. So we just kind of ran around and did our own thing. Like I can remember being in the front of the boat with blankets, and I'd be like playing my own little imaginary game in my head, just puttering around up at the front of the boat. Like yeah, it was always
I love
such
that.
a good time, and it was like a fun way, especially when we had family up, because usually when we had family up, we were go, go, go all the time because we
Yes.
were maxing out our time with them. And especially when my brother and I were younger, we really wanted to do stuff. So it was a good way to like still be doing something, but like chillax in the evenings, like because we weren't at the
Yes.
lodge. So like my brother and I really couldn't make anyone do anything with us. But like we were all still together. We would do it not every night, but probably like for half of the nights
Mhm.
we'd go out and
It was
just
just, yeah,
yeah.
just nice to get on the water because, listen, when our family would came up, they didn't live on the water, so it was
Yeah.
just nice to put around, and just kind of check out all the little bays and shoals, and put around and check out, because we did see wildlife as well.
Yep.
Like there was a lot of times we would see. I know we saw otters.
Mhm.
We saw lots of ducks and
Beavers and
beavers,
stuff.
and
Yeah.
of course, who went nuts for all that stuff?
Oh, the dog. The
The
dog would
dog.
lose his mind. It'd be a nice, peaceful, like, because we always chose the evening where it wasn't windy, obviously. Like, it's no
Yeah.
fun if you're out there in the wind. So it'd be nice and calm. And you could hear, like, the loons and stuff. And then this beaver would pop up somewhere or a loon. And this dog would go mental. And then you have to try and calm him down.
Yes.
But it was so quiet out that it would just echo through, like, the whole lake. Oh, goodness.
And he would just be on the edge of the boat on whatever side it was and just work his way down as we would
Yeah.
go past it, losing his mind and barely staying in the boat, like barely staying in the boat.
Yeah.
He just loved them so much. But yeah, so and that would usually we do that'd be like an hour, maybe
Yeah.
maybe even two some nights, hey?
Oh, yeah.
And you talk about the Trivial Pursuit questions, not like your dad and I ever had a hot clue
Yeah.
on a fair bit of them too, because they were older versions. We used to go to the secondhand store and we would buy the games for like $2 and then we
Yeah.
just trash the game and keep the cards. Your dad and I actually did that a lot too when we first did sports shows, and we would
Mm.
have to go down to the States and tour around the Midwest. It was a great way just to pass the time when you're
Yeah,
driving, like,
trivia, yeah, like
yeah,
any trivia is such a fun thing. And
yeah,
I know like once I got a little bit older, I would then like I would read the questions and stuff like
yeah.
that so that I could like participate a little bit. I know whenever my grandpa, like your dad was there, he always crushed it. Like that man knows
Oh,
everything.
that man knows everything about everything. If I'm ever in like any type of
Yeah.
trivia like tournament, that guy's coming. Because first of all, he's lived most of history. I swear to God, his like social insurance number is like 000000002. Like, and he's lived it all. He knows it all.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Side note. Okay, so we're talking about this. So then my we're talking about trivia team. Here's my all-star trivia team. So it'd be my dad, because my
Yep.
dad's all over history, and he knows a lot about geography too.
Yep.
My mom, because she knows like just weird oddity stuff, like
You
what
know what?
Elvis's
It's
middle name
because
would be.
and she was a librarian for quite a while, so she's got all those
Yeah,
weird facts for you.
she's got weird facts. I'd have my husband on that team because he is all over the sports
Yep.
category. He's got that nailed. And I'm on it for pulp culture because even if I haven't seen it or watched it, I'm still going to know about it and I can probably get it right. So
Yeah.
that's my dream team right there.
I
We're
love it.
stacked.
You're
We got it covered.
stacked. You're
We're
stacked.
stacked.
Yeah.
We're
But the
stacked. So
the the boat rides
yeah,
were
we
always
could,
so fun. I mean, they
yeah,
weren't always as calm, cool, and collected as we are mentioning. There were a few nights where things got a little rowdy.
But before that, there were a few times though when we were just kind of putting around and we, just have a social drink. We're just like,
Yeah.
chilling out, relaxing. There was a couple times we did bring candles. Like we had these
Yes.
great big tall candles that we literally had from my husband and I's wedding back in 2000. And those suckers lasted for like, I would say probably over 20 years.
Oh my
But
goodness.
anyways, we would bring them. They were tall ones, and we would light it on just it was on the bottom of the floor. And I would bring marshmallows and chocolate and
Make
graham crackers,
s'mores.
and then you guys would toast your little s'mores over the little flame. And then we would have
Yep.
s'mores sometimes too in the bottom of the boat, which was a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Um, you know, you always have to have a bit
Yeah.
of sugar to get hopped up on,
Oh yeah.
but those are really fun, relaxing, just like hang out. Just a great way to bookend the night.
Mm-hmm.
Because we usually had lots of stuff going on during the day. It's usually after supper, take a few snacks. And if any people are at the cottage and you have a boat, grab some Trivial Pursuit cards and just go tooling
Yeah.
down the lakeshore. It is a great way to just have a nice, fun evening. Nothing, just chill,
Yeah.
where you're not like in the cabin or like on your social media, whatever. It's just a great way to reconnect. And we used to have a ton of fun. Like literally, would almost go through like read out all the cards of an entire box of Trivial Pursuit. There's a lot of cards in there,
Oh,
and
there's a lot of cards in those
we
boxes.
did a lot of Trivial Pursuit. That's for sure. It's just a fun way. So listen, if you're at the cottage, you got a boat, go
Do
do it
it.
one night. Pack a couple of drinks, take a candle for s'mores, take your Trivial Pursuit questions. You'll have an absolute blast. It's great conversation. That's for sure. And that was one of the ways that we used to entertain ourselves
Yeah.
because,
There's not
we
much
can't
else
just
to do out there.
not much else to do. And you weren't watching TV unless you had the generator on, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. It was kind of really fun to do in the evenings. And we would usually go out just until like dusk, which
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at later on in the summer, so that's not like 11:30 at night. But so we would go out until just about dusk. The nice part at the lodge was that we didn't have to like pull up any of our boats. They were always attached to docks, so it was just like dock and
Hop
go.
in, hop
And then when
out.
you came back too, that makes a huge difference when you don't have to launch a boat every time to go on the lake.
Yeah.
I get you on that. And then, yes, so there were other times that we were with other people, other family and friends, and it would tend to get a little bit more rowdy on the boat,
Just a
guys.
little bit. Like eventually Trivial Pursuit would get put aside and the music would just turn up just that extra bit more and
Mhm.
nothing like crazy, don't worry. But it was always
How
just so
many
much fun.
dance parties?
I was just
How
about
many
to
dance
say.
parties did we have in the boat, Ainsley?
Oh,
I
there
can't even count.
quite I have no idea. Quite a few dance parties, quite a few hilarious
Yes,
dance parties.
right?
Um dance
Um,
parties of people getting up on like the little like windshield thing and
on the
swaying
console,
away. Yep.
right?
How
Um,
like
we
nothing in
broke a
that.
boat seat. Did we
Yeah, I
not
was
break
gonna
a boat
say
seat one time
how we
dancing?
like only broke one chair throughout all of that
It's pretty
is
amazing.
impressive. Is very
It's pretty
impressive.
amazing. Yes. And you know what? The nice part was is we were the only ones on the lake.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if anybody had have been in and around from like a 10-kilometer earshot, they would have heard these rowdies and all
Oh
this
yeah.
silly music. But nobody was there. So it didn't matter. So we could
Yeah.
just be as rowdy as we wanted. And yeah, we'd usually pull in with just the dance music, just and then we just carry on up into the cabin. Remember the one time we carried it back up into the cabin? You were just young. We were with some family members, some younger family members, and so we just had the music blaring, and we had a huge dance party in the cabin to the point where we danced so much and jumped up and down that we actually blew out the pilot lights of the fridge.
Yes. I remember that and I remember thinking that the whole floor was going to just cave right
Oh
in
yeah,
cuz like it's an
it
old
did.
cabin. There's not much
Yeah,
structural integrity there. And you have all
yeah,
these people jumping and we had quite a few like men in
yeah.
that trip and they were just
Hmm.
jumping away. And so yeah, that was that yeah. I think
It's
that's
just
when
it
the
was
boat chair broke was that one.
probably.
Yeah.
But you know what? You got, like I said, you got to make your own fun. It was just a fun way to just to kind of, unwind and relax when we had family up. And So that was a lot of we used the main freight boat for that for a long time until we got the pontoon boat.
Yes.
And then when we got the pontoon boat, if we had days off, we started doing a lot more like day excursions. And I
Yeah, because
think we
then we'd
talked
go
about
out and we'd
this.
go swimming and stuff. Like, I know we talked
Yeah.
about, like, using the pontoon boat to go shower, like, around the corner and stuff like that.
And
But,
with the family fun weekend too, we would tether
yeah,
with another pontoon boat and we would go to what was it called? Sandy
Sandy
Bay?
Beach.
Sandy Beach, and we would you just drifted up there. So we did a lot of day trips with the pontoon boat. And but we did a lot of evening cruises with that too. What because obviously it's way more
Yeah.
comfortable. There's couches and everything, right? So we
Yeah, but
continued
we'd
on with
quite
that.
often in the summer, like especially if we were going to Sandy Beach for the day or if we had friends up, because for a few years, like I had a friend come up a couple times, and then I know my brother also had a friend come up a couple times for like a week or
Yeah.
so, um, just so that, we could have someone to play with. And so we do a lot more day trips then. And when we'd usually go to spend the day at Sandy Beach. And on our way to Sandy Beach, we would take the pontoon boat with the tube on the back of it,
Oh
and which
yeah.
pontoon boats, especially because we had a tri-tune as well, so like there's a lot of flotation there. They're not the best tubing boat, but like all we wanted to do and the most fun we had tubing was going like 5 kilometers an hour, and
How long?
we had a big like 3-person tube, and
Hmm.
we would go like really like you were barely moving, and then we would nosedive the front of the tube so it went underwater, and then we would
Yeah,
try
you'd
and
lean
like,
out to the front of it,
yeah, we'd all get onto the front, so we'd go under, and then we'd try and like
submerge
have to
it.
stay on and stuff like that, and we would try and walk along the tow rope like as far as we could because we were going so slow that you fall off and the tube's coming up behind you, just grab on. But we always like we had more fun. I feel like we went tubing more times slow than we did fast.
I honestly feel like we maybe only tubed like 4 times out of the all the years, like the years and years and years we were there, like fast tubing.
Yeah.
But I bet you we did like 60, 70 trips,
Oh yeah.
where we just put along and then if someone fell off the tube, it didn't matter. They just I mean, we were paying attention, we just throw it into neutral and
And you
then,
could
it
just
took
swim
like 3
up. Yeah.
seconds for the person to swim back up because we literally were putting along at like a
Yeah.
snail's pace, which I have to say was your dad and I's favorite type of tubing
Hmm.
because I get motion sick, so you don't really get motion sick, and we could just sit there and have a nice conversation and have our snacks, and we had music going. But
Yep.
yeah, you guys came up with like so inventive games
Oh
riding on
yeah.
that, and we spend hours doing that. Do you remember the time we had snacks? Because we always had snacks, and so I think we had watermelons the one time,
Yep.
and so you guys wanted a watermelon, and so I think your dad tried to fling it to you, and it didn't quite get as far as the tube, but we discovered that the watermelon floats,
Yeah.
like cut up watermelon
And
floats.
it doesn't really lose its flavor in the water because it's watermelon. But
So
yeah, we kind of would go and have to try and catch the watermelon.
that's what we do. So then we would throw them into the water off the back of the boat, and you guys would be like hanging off the tube,
Yeah.
trying to reach and grab all. And that was like a total like a new
Oh
a
yeah.
new game as well. So then we always had to be stacked with watermelon, so
Yeah.
that when we would do those slow tubes, you guys would just and you just thought it was the funniest and the coolest thing ever. And we're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
If we don't have to stop
Oh, we
to give
had
you snacks,
so much fun. Like we would play so many games, and like I just remember
yeah.
sinking it. Sinking it was always so cool because you never stayed on when you sunk it, like
Mm.
ever, and it was just a disaster. And I know that before we got the 3-person tube, we had well, I think it was a 2-man tube, but it was really just for one person. It wasn't
Yeah,
big by any means. It was this little green like triangle looking thing. It had these little wings on it,
yeah.
and we had that tube the entire time we were at the lodge. The entire
For
time.
like 15 years. No, well, it would have been less than that because you guys were babies. So it was so maybe we had it for 10 years.
Yeah, and
We
like,
never ever deflated it in the wintertime.
yep.
And it had like a canvas cover, like whatever that cover is over the inflate. It never deflated. It never punctured. And finally, like on year 10, I think the cover finally like rotted off
Yeah,
of it,
well,
but we
that was
still used the
the
white tube
tube.
part underneath.
Yeah,
We
like
never
we had
deflated it.
that tube. We had that tube for so long. I can remember,
Crazy.
like I remember the only time I remember like tubing on it really fast was when we had some friends up, and then it was just I remember that so clearly because I was with my friend on the tube and we fell off the tube, and then
Hmm.
he started to panic so bad that he
We were like
then for
6 or maybe
oh yeah,
8.
we were like
You're just
6 and
little.
7, like something like that, and then Like we had life jackets on, obviously, like nothing crazy. Like we've both been in the water, but I don't know if he'd ever been in like deep water like that. And we fell off the tube, so I'm just floating there, like watching the boat come back. And he panicked and was like crawling on top of me. So then I was panicking because I'm going under. It was a hot mess. Anyways, we had that tube for so long. I can remember my brother was on that too because we would just go on it and float around. Like we quite often would use it like because we like I made up so many imaginary games living at the
Okay.
lodge because what else did I have to do?
Oh, well,
And I
yeah.
remember trying to like get on that tube like in your clothes, like you didn't want to get wet, and then we would like have a paddle and paddle around the docks. And I can remember my brother was on that tube and he went over at the first lodge to the boat ramps
Mm-hmm.
and went to that last dock where we had the water pump and he got
Yes.
stung by some wasps and he freaked out and jumped off of it. And then I went to go try and get the tube because it was kind of floating away. And then I got stung by the wasp. It was just utter disaster. Anyways, we had that tube for so long. And when I had my one friend who started coming up to the lodge, the three of us would get on this one man tube and we'd go really, really slow behind the boat and we would
Mm-hmm.
sink that one because it would sink so quickly. And then you have someone like hanging onto the wings, like, oh, we always lost people. But that was the year that well, we did that, and then the second year when she came up, we ended up that's when we ended up tearing the tube because we kept
Oh,
like it
okay.
was
Yeah.
at that point it was like 10 years
It
old.
was
It had been in the
rotting off.
winter and summer, like it was
Yeah.
like it was faded from the sun. And when you would go underwater like that, it's a lot of stress on the fabric, obviously. And it finally ripped because then I remember like the next day my dad had to go to town and he went and just bought that 3-man tube. He's like, boop, here we go. Just
Oh,
like an
yeah. That big
impulse.
giant thing. Yes.
Yeah, and that's how we ended up with that one, and then we started doing the same thing with that. But we had that tube forever, but we would just putter along the back of the boat with it like, oh, it was so much fun.
The best way to tube as an adult.
Yeah.
Like when you've got kids,
And
there's
like
no better way.
I liked it too because when I was younger I liked tubing, and then when I got older I got a lot more fears in me, and so tubing fast did scare me quite a bit, but I would still
Hmm.
do it. And then I mean last time I went tubing I hurt myself, so
I
yeah.
feel like after that, the only time we did fast tubing was when we had family fun weekend because there was a fair number of adults that wanted to
Yeah.
do like like actual tubing, not just like the puttering along.
Yeah.
So I think because I remember like one time seeing my girlfriend in her gosh, we were full adults. You kids were teenagers. Like literally hit a wave and come straight up, like parallel, like her body was parallel to the water,
Yeah.
like 6 feet before she came crashing down. And we were like, oh no. And she came back up and she was laughing so hard. I thought she was dead. And she was laughing so hard she couldn't wait. I was like, you people are crazy. You need to get into slow tubing because
Yeah.
that is where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, that
Such
was
good times
just
though.
so much fun. Yeah. So if you have kids, try to convince them to do slow tubing and stuff. You'll like it as a parent
Oh
way
yeah.
more because you can sit and have a conversation and maybe have a drink of a beverage and relax.
Yeah.
It was way more relaxing. We totally enjoyed that during the summers. So those are kind of a couple things we did in the boat with our downtime because we did
Yeah.
have some downtime in between guests coming and going, and then we actually booked off time when we knew that we had family coming up and stuff like that. We worked around that, and yeah, geez, slow tubing and trivia, two best
The
things to
best.
do,
Yeah.
two really good things to do in a
Yeah.
boat. Just saying.
Such good
If you've never
times.
tried it, I encourage you to try it. You will, if you are a trivia person, you will quite enjoy that. It definitely makes for good conversation. And slow tubing is also just as fun as fast tubing, maybe a
Mhm.
bit less stressful for the parents. So
Yeah.
try that out too. Get yourself some watermelon and say, hey, we're going to throw some watermelon in the water. You got to try and catch it. Make it into a game. Make
Make it
everything
into
into
a
a game.
game.
It's
Why not?
nuts. We make everything into a game.
Yep.
It's crazy. I love that. Um, yeah. Geez, like I say this every time. Every time we talk about the lodge, I'm just like, man, it was such a great time. Like, whether we had guests in or whether we didn't. We'll definitely have another episode where we'll talk about like the actual fishing aspect of the lodge, what we
Yeah.
actually like made our money with.
Yeah.
And kind of how like a day of fishing goes, because they were kind of cool too, with the different setups we had. And yeah, I got some fun stories of monster fish and being like days out from having you and a few other fun
Yeah.
stories like that too. So I love that. That's
It's always
kind of dive
fun.
down memory lane. It always is.
It's
We
always
do it.
such a good time.
Yes. If any of you have questions about the lodge or whatever, please message us, DM us.
Yep.
You know, let us know. We'd love to answer them if you have any questions about like any of these topics that we talk about lodge life, or if you have different questions that, or just say, hey, did you guys ever do this? Let us know because we'd love
Yep.
to talk about them. I
Definitely.
love that. Right.
Would you rather?
Okay,
The
Ainsley.
time has come to choose
I
our
know.
answers.
All right. So to review, would you rather trip once a day in a very noticeable way, or always feel like you forgot something important but never knew what it was?
Oh, this is really tough. I feel like I'm gonna go towards the like forgetting, feeling like I've forgotten something but not knowing what it
Okay,
is.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I am going to pick trip once a day in a very noticeable way.
Oh, why? Why?
Then
Why?
I'm one and done. Listen, on a regular basis, I feel like I forgot something important and I don't know what it is. Like
Yeah.
that's an everyday occurrence for me. So I literally, if I could trip once a day very noticeably, like first thing in the morning and be one and done, then I can just go about my day. So that is my choice. I'm like once a day, one and done. What about you?
That's
Why do you choose
fair.
the other?
I feel like I chose the other one kind of like almost not a similar reason, but I do constantly feel like I'm forgetting something as well, but at least that's like an internal thing. I feel like if I knew I was going to trip very noticeably once a day, I would just be anticipating that and being like so careful with every step I take that like you just think I was like walking on glass, like just like slow and methodical and
You
stuff.
would be so stressed out, like so
Yeah.
stressed out.
Yeah. I'd be oh god. Anticipation, I don't do well with it.
And I don't give a shit anymore. So if anybody looks at me and laughs at me, I'm like, right on, brother. I'd probably high five them
Yeah.
and be like, wasn't that ridiculous? Let's move on.
I mean, I
Um,
also already trip. It's just, I'm kind of, yeah, it is what it is.
did we not already talk about at the lodge how the one day you literally walked out of your bedroom, spun like a 180 and smoked your forehead right off of the
I
door
have
jamb?
no
Like, I
idea
don't
if
know
we
how you
talked
did
about
that.
that, but that was oh, not a good moment for me.
So,
I came out of the door and I kicked a shoe, and whatever I did, I like tripped and like recoiled and went back and just went boom right into yeah.
and then started to cry. And your dad and I proceeded to burst out
Oh
laughing.
yeah.
And then you started to laugh and you were like, cry laughing. I'm like, how? Like, how does this? So, in essence, you're probably going to end up doing both of those things every day,
Yeah.
anyways.
I'm 100% I'm going to do both of those things because I
And
do
you know
always
what?
feel
In
like
all
I'm forgetting
honesty,
something.
I'm probably going to do both of those things too, anyways. So, listen, we got them both covered. Whether we pick, if we will pick one, but we'll still accidentally do the other.
Yeah.
So, I don't mind that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right? Okay, we're going to throw it out to our audience. Which would you rather do? Would you rather trip once a day in a very noticeable way? Or would you like to feel like you forgot something important, but you never know what it is? So please throw it in the comments. Let us know. We would love to hear from you and see
Yes.
which choice you have. Um,
Yes.
I need to go back to the Delusional Confidence Club.
Oh.
Um, I have to say that the weekend that the Delusional Confidence Club came out, I actually was participating in a curling bonspiel.
Hmm.
No one had more high delusional confidence than this cat right here. Unbelievable. First of all, we did really, really well. We came first in the second event. So like out of there was 26 teams. So we were in like the top 4 or 5 teams there getting
Dang.
second
That's
in the
pretty
event.
good.
And we curled amazingly, which was awesome. But I have to say, they had some entertainment at the supper on the Saturday night, and it was heads up, which I don't know if anybody's played that, but like, you put your phone in front of you, it's
Yeah.
got a word, and your person has to describe
It's
it to
kind
you.
of
You have
like
to say it
charades.
very much like charades. So we're sitting there with my team from out of town, and they're like, okay, we're going to play this. And I'm like, hold the phone. Is this charades? And I just looked at my team and I'm like, oh, I said, we have got this in the bag. My delusional confidence was over the moon. I hadn't even
Oh,
seen what was coming up,
goodness.
but as soon as they kind of described it, I'm like, we got this. We're gonna own this. Like I'm owning this. I don't even need anybody else's help. I can just do this all on my own.
Yep.
Anyways, guess out of 26 teams, which team won?
Hmm.
This
You.
team right here. We were the only team to answer all 10 of our heads up words in less than a minute. The only team.
That's actually pretty impressive to do 10 words in less than a
Oh,
minute.
oh my gosh. And I was as animated and people like everybody that was doing it, like everybody was bursting out laughing. It was one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. We were crying laughing at some of the
But
stuff.
like, were you
Um,
the one describing the word or guessing?
hmm
You were
no, I
describing?
was describing.
So, like, I think
I
that's kind of
Yeah,
something that like we just have in our blood. Cause just a couple nights ago, I was doing with my girlfriend. She was asking me some friends trivia because she always every now and then she'll pull it out because she just is so amazed at just how much of it I know. And one of the questions was like, "Oh, what is the game that Joey is helping, or Ross, Chandler, and Joey are practicing for that Joey was going to be the host of or whatever?"
bamboozle.
Yeah, and I couldn't, like, I knew it was something along those lines, and I couldn't get the word in my head. And I was looking at her, and I was like, I know what it is. I was like, I know it's like a word that's like this. And I was like with my hands, and she was like, it's crazy how descriptive you can be with your hands because I know exactly like what you're trying. Like I know exactly, like I would know that that's that word. And I was like, yeah, I was like, it's just in my blood, I guess.
I'm like every Christmas when we get together as a family, now we do Pictionary and charades.
Yeah.
I'm like I have prepped. This is like my Olympics, people. This is I am going for the gold medal. I was born for this.
Yes.
So anyways, we had an absolute blast
Yeah.
and it was really fun. And so shout out to the committee that put on an amazing bonspiel. It was so good. We had a lot of crazy twists and turns in events, being evacuated from the curling rink for several
Yeah.
hours for one. But anyways, no harm, no foul. It turned out to be awesome. But yeah, like my delusional confidence was just like, and even on the ice too,
Yeah.
delusional confidence on point. So I still think that I will be the president of the delusional confidence club
Confidence Club.
because
Yeah. I think
that's
you'd
where
be a
I'm
good
at.
president.
I think I'm gonna be a good president. We should hold a meeting soon. I'd like to say that.
Oh
Okay,
my goodness.
so if you would like to, did we talk about sending a no? If you'd like
No,
to
you
send a would
skipped
you
it.
rather question in. Sorry, I was so focused on my delusional
I
confidence
know
club.
you were.
If you would like to send in a would you rather question, Ainsley, how do you go about doing that?
You can leave it in the comments below, or you can DM us on Instagram.
There you go.
Woo! Woo, woo,
We would love
woo.
to hear any of your would you rather's
Yes.
because we could like doing those than ours.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying.
Just saying.
Okay.
Okay.
Mini segment, Ainsley. This week's mini segment
Yes.
is what?
Two truths and a lie. We got another new segment for you. We're really keeping you on your toes, okay? And I was supposed to have my lies and truths ready, and I in fact did not get them ready till about 5 minutes before we started this because I forgot I was supposed to do that.
Who's half
Yeah,
prep now?
goodness, we need to get shirts that say half
We
prep,
I was just gonna say we need to get a hat and then we each have one and then we're only half prep. We have to wear it.
like the
Um
the dunce cap or whatever it is.
yes, that's exactly what I was thinking was the triangle hat with half prep on it.
The
Like seriously,
cone,
that's exactly what I was thinking of. The cone of shame,
the cone of
half
shame.
prep. Okay, I'm looking into it.
Okay.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god, because we're
goodness.
gonna have too many shirts made. First of all,
I
everything we
know, we
talk about,
got a lot.
we have to make a shirt.
Yeah.
Now I
Yeah.
need to have a hat.
Mm. Okay. Do you want to
Half
go
prep.
first?
So my two truths and a lie are: I have been bitten by a donkey, I have been bitten by a giraffe, and I have been bitten by a cow.
No.
So Ainsley, you need
I
to think of which one is the lie in that case.
I think I know which one is the lie, and I absolutely love that you chose these because people are gonna be like, "How the hell did this occur?" Because obviously she's been bitten by two of
Two of
these
these are true.
things. The lie is that you have been bitten by a cow. You have not been bitten by a cow.
That is correct. That is the lie. I have been bitten by a donkey. They bit my in both instances, they almost bit my fingers off. For reference. I was bitten by the giraffe when I was quite little and I went to like a safari, like
Yeah.
drive-through safari. I held my hand out for the giraffe just so that it thought I had food and it would come down and I could pet it. And I held my hand out like this, and that giraffe latched on these two fingers and wouldn't let go,
Oh my
which is
goodness.
always why I joked that I had such a long neck. And then I guess I was probably maybe 9 or 10, and they had a donkey baseball game at a local ball diamond for fundraiser. And so I was in charge. There were several of us that had to hang on to the donkeys while the play was going on. And so I was petting my donkey along its cheek, and all of a sudden I went like this, and then and it latched onto my hand again, and I actually thought it was gonna bite those fingers off.
Wasn't it the
It
same
didn't.
fingers?
It was the same fingers. It was both on this hand. And it didn't break the skin, but oh my god, it hurt like hell. And then I had to go sit up with my mom and I couldn't hang on to the donkeys anymore. It was really sad.
Aw.
Now the
Aw.
crazy part is that my aunt and uncle had a dairy farm. So you
And
would
you showed
think
a
the most
cow in
logical
like
thing, and
4-H
I showed
stuff
a cow
too.
in 4-H. Spent way more time with cows. You would think that the risk of me getting bit by a cow, like, feeding it hay or
Yeah.
whatever, much higher. But no.
No.
Anyways,
No.
there's my two truths
Well,
and a lie.
I like
Okay,
how
Ainsley, what are yours?
your truth and lie were all kind of the same thing. This is how you can tell unprepared I was because mine are just all over the place. But maybe that makes it harder. Okay.
All right.
I'm not
Okay.
actually 5'6". I've never
Ooh,
broken a bone, and Brussels
ooh,
sprouts are my second favorite vegetable.
that's tough.
Yeah.
Um, I am going to say that the lie is Brussels sprouts are your second favorite vegetable.
The lie is that I've never broken a bone because I broke my finger 2 years ago.
Oh, I didn't think you actually broke it though.
I
That's why I
fractured
think she
it.
hasn't. I knew that you've injured your hands like in football.
No, I don't you
And I
remember I
thought,
fractured my middle finger, the tip of my middle finger? Do you not
do
remember
now.
that? When I had that big I had that for
Yeah,
a
the
week I
cast that
had
you gave
that
me the
yeah,
right. You gave me
yeah,
the finger nonstop for weeks.
yeah.
Um, I was going to be mad first of all if Brussels sprouts were your second favorite vegetable. I wanted to know what your favorite vegetable would have been then, because I would have been mad. Just saying.
Well, I would say that my favorite like I wanted to say corn originally, but I think asparagus would be my favorite.
All right. All
I
right.
really like
All right.
asparagus.
That's a decent one to go against Brussels sprouts. I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I thought the Brussels sprouts
Any
might throw you off.
right? It did. It totally did.
Yeah.
It totally did. Um, anyways, that was kind of interesting. Okay, well,
That
we
was a lot
will
of
have to
fun.
come up with two new truths and one lie
Yeah.
and get back to this.
I like that
Okay,
one.
Ainsley, I think we should wrap that up. This was a lot of
Yes.
fun today.
It was.
Live, live, deep dive, two
It was a
truths
lot
and
of
a
fun.
lie. Works for me. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in to Second Saturday yet again.
Yes, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on all our social medias, because we are
Mhm.
here every Sunday for a new episode, and we are also here every Friday with a little weekly vlog to really dive
Mhm.
deep into the craziness of our lives. Yeah.
Can I just say, with the last week's vlog, I sent Ainsley, like I record my stuff and I send it to Ainsley. When I did the MetaQuest, the Oculus 3 or whatever it is, and I was playing the Beat Mix game, I just sent that footage to her. I didn't even bother to look at it. So when the vlog came out and my husband is dancing beside me, I had no idea, like
Yeah.
no clue whatsoever. I did not know in advance because I just sent her the
Yeah.
footage. I'm like, it was fun. Oh, I was jamming out. I was so zoned in. Oh, I was so excited. Totally caught me up. So if you haven't watched it and you want a really good laugh,
Yeah.
I highly encourage you
Definitely
to
go
watch
watch
last
it.
Friday's vlog.
It was, no, 2 Fridays ago.
Such an idiot.
2 Fridays ago.
Oh, I'm such an idiot. Like I am such an idiot. Oh, it's just yeah.
And if you want to
Anyways,
go
it
watch
was
this past Friday's vlog, you'll get to see me doing some fun little boom work on set. that I was on last weekend.
Look at
So
that.
essentially, just
Be
go
in her
watch
element.
everything. Okay, just go
Just do
onto the
it. Just
channel
do it,
and
people.
just hit play.
I love it. Awesome. All right. Well, everybody, I hope you have a great Sunday, and we will see you next Sunday.
Bye.
Mhm.